Okay, the question is about intellect, or in Sanskrit we call it buddhi. Um, you know, I may say that buddhi or intellect is maybe even the most important tool for the spiritual practitioners when we speak about meditation, self-inquiry, and spiritual divine evolution. And first of all, we have to mention about huge difference which we have in Western culture, how we understand actually here intellect and what it means for the Vedic philosophy. The difference is huge. Normally when we speak about intellect, according to Western culture, we mean something rational, scientific, logical, and when we even may say about somebody as, okay, this person is the person, the huge intellect, it means he is a logical, he or she a really powerful thinking process based on rational thinking and logic and proofs, etc. Mostly it's like a classical scientific approach to life, to the information. But in Vedic culture, in yoga and meditation, intellect is both logic and intuition. So it means in Sanskrit language we call intellect as buddhi, and that buddhi includes both logic, perfect logic, and subtle, wonderful intuition. And that's huge difference, because it means that if we take intellect only as some logical tool, then not too much, nothing special, because logic is wonderful, logic is really important, and not only for science but for spirituality. But logic has its own limitations. We can prove or disprove whatever we wish, and we may even play games with the logic. And intellect is something which is like top level manager in our life, and that top level manager is the one who is responsible for the decision making. And decision making is, now I mean, regarding all aspects of our life. For example, we can discuss some philosophical questions, and that's going to lead us to the decision making. What does mean truth? What is right or what is wrong? But at the same time, decision making is about our business and financial life, our political choices, and whatever. It can be our family life, even our diet. What kind of food we are going to take, vegetarian or not, what kind of meditation we are going to practice. There are so many kinds of meditation, and who can choose? Actually, buddhi. Well, I think that's a huge question. What is the difference between intellect and mind? That's a huge question. And actually, better to say there are three things: memory, intellect, and mind. And we have to see and be clear about difference between memory, intellect, and the mind. That's the difference I can point out. And Okay, memory is something related to Vishuddha chakra, throat chakra. That's memory, because this chakra, throat chakra, Vishuddha, is about information, which is also actually memory. Memory, by the way, not only about what's happened last year or 10 years ago, but also memory about our past incarnations. But it's slightly more difficult, but anyway, that's also memory. Okay, and Vishuddha chakra, throat chakra, is memory, and also all kinds of informational streams which we have right now. Because anyway, intellect and mind may analyze, okay, all that decision makings, all that whatever, based on information, memory and information. That's the first stuff, and that's Vishuddha. That's interesting that in Sanskrit we have such a word like chitta, and the chitta is an extremely complicated term, word, because there are so many different kinds of meanings and translations for the chitta. It's consciousness, it's memory, it's this and that, and one of the possible meaning is memory. It's not only the one, but one of them. Okay, then buddhi or intellect. It's connected, related with anahata chakra, dorsal spine. Okay, and so this, as I just now mentioned, is a decision making based on both logic and intuition. And okay, let me say a few more words about intellect. That it's the main quality is viveka, as we know, and viveka is divine discrimination between what is right and what is wrong, what is truth and what is not. And anyway, viveka, or divine discrimination between reality and illusion, truth and untruth, is based on, okay, ability to use logic and intuition. And of course, when we take Vedanta, classical Vedanta, like Adi Shankaracharya, or for example Buddhist schools, and it can be Theravada, Mahayana or Vajrayana, all branches of Buddhism, and Vedanta and Tantra, they all include huge logic and debates and all that things. Of course, now it's not a time, not an age for debates. Now nobody is interested in debates, but something like 1,000 and 2,000 years ago it was huge. Yeah, and it's like, what does it mean to all that debates? It means, okay, it's logic firstly. But then third part is mind. Mind is related to the Manipura chakra, lumbar spine. And mind is just like, okay, clerk or normal manager in the office, and that guy, I mean mind, must not to be involved in decision making. And that guy is just doing its job. And I may give you plenty of examples, like intellect, okay, can choose to learn Kriya Yoga meditation. Then mind must, collect information about all kinds of schools, masters, possibilities to receive whatever, initiation, information, techniques. That's mind. But the main decision by intellect. And the same is about our real estate, property. Okay, I wish to buy a nice house. For example, I have some money, but not complete amount. Then I have to go to bank and ask for the money, and then, okay, then mind start to analyze what kind of banks we have in our city, what kinds of money I may really get from them. Okay, then the second question about property, which district, which price, what company may help to make all the papers. That's mind. Decision by intellect, mind just go and do the job. Well, I may to say that, yeah, right, sometimes we may say that people are listening more to the mind and they shift this privilege, which is about decision making, to the mind, yeah, but
feelings and senses.
Yeah, that's true, and I want to remind us great Russian mystic Gurdjieff and Ouspensky. Actually, both of them. Okay, in the beginning, Gurdjieff was like guru, and Ouspensky was his main disciple. But later on, actually, both of them became equally important gurus in certain tradition. And it was first half of 20th century, and that's interesting that influence of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky is huge, and actually we can be proud that modern Western esoteric tradition created actually by mostly 3 or 4 Russians. The first of them was Madame Blavatsky in 19th century. Then another sweet couple is Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, and the guy number 4 is Roerich, Nicholas Roerich. And even if modern meditation and esoteric people in the West, they may not know about Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, who cares? I mean, anyway, whatever happened is a result of these 2 crazy guys. When I say crazy, I mean they really so intensively clear about spirituality, so especially Gurdjieff, who was not care about whatever traditional rules and even sometimes traditional conventional morality, just like the main question, what is the source of the consciousness, what is the source of your self-existence? And he was speaking about self-remembrance, and all the rest is illusion, let us not care about it. And that was his approach. And Gurdjieff, why actually I'm speaking about him, he told, it was even before communist revolution, he told to his main disciple, to Mr. Ouspensky, that most of the people, they're just machines. There is no any mostly people are not even human beings. Why? Because they just live life according to the reactions. Just reactions. And your question is actually about this, because mostly people live life not according to the conscious decision, because they don't have self-remembrance. Self-remembrance, it's the way how Gurdjieff was speaking about this. It's like to be conscious, to be present, yeah? But at that time he told about self-remembrance, and that's nice, by the way. And then only reactions, and reactions are based on few things, and one of them is just senses. Like, I wish more food, sex and stuff, and I wish to escape from certain danger, which mostly is imaginary. Okay, I want to get more stuff and I want to escape from something else. So senses, not intellect, for the most of the people. Then, it means actually it's like kind of animal nature, yeah? And then one more thing is conditioning. which are very important for the most of the people, even if we think that we are kind of free people living in a world of democracy, free choice, but really we are living in a world of conditions. Conditioning is a social, ethnic, religious. It's like, okay, my religion, my country, my background, what was my conditions when I was a teenager, schoolboy, student, all that conditioning. And I make a so-called free choice, but really it is not free choice because it's just based on conditioning. So it means in all that based on ego. Ego means feeling of separate existence. When we feel that, okay, I am absolutely separate personality, then all kinds of fear, worries, aggression happen, and then animal qualities start to be more active, proactive, and then intellect can't work. So it means when we come from our animal nature, senses and conditionings, when we come to the self-remembrance, okay, I amness, then all the proper tools created by whatever, God, absolute consciousness, start to function. Okay, memory and information, then intellect, and then mind, which is absolutely nice, and we don't need to struggle with the mind, because now there are many spiritual traditions which are even they're speaking like, okay, what does mean spirituality? Means we have to struggle with the mind. We don't need to struggle with the mind. It's like my Guru Yogi Ramayana in such cases was like joking, like, okay, then why not to struggle with the kidney, with the liver, you know?
Yes.
Because we don't need to struggle with the mind. Mind is just tool. And so it means we have to practice self-remembrance and then separate our dependence, separate our, okay, this feeling of self, feeling of I amness from all the tools. Then we can use all the tools, including information, including intellect, and including mind.